Good evening, Strategic Alpha community members. I welcome you all for this weekly roundup. And today is 14th June, and we will be discussing about the sectors, how did they perform. We'll be also discussing about the indices, the commodities, and the stocks, and the news which mattered. Along with that, we'll be also discussing the interesting setups going ahead and what are the sectors to watch going ahead. And after that, I'll be taking up the questions. So let us start with the weekly roundup. This is 14th June. So in past 1 week, what we have seen is India VIX has fallen by 23%, 24%, which says that markets are not in that fear zone now. The markets are in bull grip zone. The Nifty 50 index was up 2.8%. Nifty Mid Cap 100 was up 5.4% in past 1 week. Small Cap index was up 4.6%. And PSU index, Nifty PSU index was up, Public Sector Enterprises index was up 7.3%. Along with that, if I look at the sectorial indices, Nifty PSU Bank was up 3.8%, Nifty Media was up 5.9%, Nifty Private Bank was up 1.3%. Nifty Realty was up 7.8%. Nifty Auto Index, which has been the leader space. In fact, we discussed last weekly roundup also that Nifty Auto is the sector which you should watch, and it has been leading. So Nifty Auto Index was up 5.4%. So from a commodities point of view, gold was up 1.5% in past 1 week. Silver was up 0.2%. Copper was soft, down 0.7%, 0.07%. Steel prices were up 0.2%. From energy commodities, crude oil was up 4%. Natural gas was up 1.9%. Gasoline was up 2.3%. From industrial commodities, lead was down 2.16%. Zinc was up 1.2%. Sugar prices have started soaring up. They were up 2.74%. Now, what were the top gainers and losers? So, from top gainers, Paras Defense, A group stock was up 28% in past 1 week. We discussed about Paras Defense few times in this weekly roundup that this is one such stock which you should not miss studying. So that is already up 28% in past 1 week. HCC was up 27%. Home First Finance was up 26%. Bajaj Hindustan Sugar was up 23%. We have also discussed about this Bajaj Hindustan Sugar multiple times. So that was up 23%. From the losers, PNC Infratech was down 12%, Eureka Forbes was down 6%, Marico was down 5%. This is from the losers front. Now let us look at the news that matters the most. So what has happened is US Federal Reserves, they have kept the interest rates unchanged even after the better inflation numbers. They have kept the interest rate unchanged. Now this has been the longest time since they have not changed the interest rate. So they have held the benchmark rate at the rate of 5.25% to 5.5%. So, but however, bond yields have fallen down, and which is saying that people are expecting a rate cut. So that is what about that was about U.S. Federal Reserve. Now, from Indian news, so we in fact shared this in the community a few days back. This was regarding sugar industry. So, sugar industry is seeking urgent MSP revisions, and long-term ethanol policy revision from the new government. So, in fact, we discussed in this weekly roundup some weeks before that sugar is one such sector which you should track, especially after the election results, because if most of the decisions were not taken in this past 4 5 months, suddenly these all decisions will be taken in the favor of the industry. So MSP, which is around, so people are expecting 30 to 40% rise hike in the MSP. That is means industry people are expecting that. So if government might take a positive stance on that. So, and owing to that, only in past few days, sugar stocks have surged up. Uh, Along with that, third important news is about Saudi Arabia, which is important for us with the context that de-dollarization is playing out. Now, what they have done is Saudi Arabia ends 80-year petrodollar deal with US for multi-currency sales. So dependence on dollar is decreasing. So that is what we are discussing. That is in line with our discussion about de-dollarization. That is playing out. Now, what are the stocks, interesting setups which you should track upon? So I had shared about Akanksha Power few few weeks back on VIP access. In fact, since then, Akanksha Power is up 40%. So today it was on a breakout stage. So today it was up 17%. So Akanksha Power is a power ancillary which you should track going ahead also. In fact, I had bought some quantity at around 95 zones, and today I have added more to my existing bet. So Akanksha Power is my second auto ancillary bet, third auto ancillary bet. First was Trill, second was Supreme Power, and now I'm also holding Akanksha Power. So which is on a weekly breakout also. So that has came on our radar. Then second stock which you should track going ahead, which can be in action going ahead, is Bajaj Hindustan Sugar. So Bajaj Hindustan Sugar, I have posted that case study on YouTube. It is available on our YouTube channel. The things are playing out well the way we thought, and the thesis is playing out well. So at some point of time, I had expected in that video that this company can turn debt free, and it is on the path to be there. So Bajaj Hindustan Sugar is one such stock which was on a weekly breakout zone. Can continue to perform much better going ahead. The third stock is KCP Sugar. I don't know much about that, but it was on a weekly breakout. Fourth stock is Texmaco Infra and Holdings. So it is a holding company of Texmaco Rail. Texmaco Rail, we have discussed that case multiple times in our weekly roundups or VIP access. This is a railway stock, and I had discussed that in a big infra boom or railway infra boom, uh, it cannot be only one company which can be catering to the entire capex. A lot of people were thinking about Titagar wagons and all, but Texmaco Rail is a similar type of a company, a similar old company as old as Titagar wagons, which you should track. And when you are tracking Titagar wagons, you should also look at Texmaco, sorry, not Titagar wagons, Texmaco Rail. You should also look at Texmaco Infra and Holding, because it is a holding company, and there is a discount of around 50 to 55% in Texmaco Infra and Holdings. So usually I prefer companies with a lot of holding discount like 60 to 70%. I've discussed that case with how to benefit from the holding companies. That video is available on YouTube. Uh, to understand how value unlocking can happen in holding companies, I've made that video. Uh, how to make high returns with low risk. So that is what I have discussed. Holding companies case study. That video is available on YouTube. It will be helpful for you to understand the case of Texmaco Infra. So it is already at a discount. So it is now at a breakout stage also. Uh, Going forward, it can continue to do well. So these are the three stocks. There are five stocks in this weekly roundup which I have posted. But out of that, I like Akanksha Power, my top bet as of now. going forward from a momentum perspective. Second is Bajaj Hindustan Sugar, and third is Texmaco Infra. So I have told it in the terms of my priorities. So my highest priority today is about Akanksha Power. It is a lot of people might say that it is hyper overvalued. It is trading at 80 multiples, but you should look it from a growth investing angle. The P can come down much faster in few quarters of time because it is a high growth company. And I'll post a video on energy transition. So if you go through that video, it is by Mr. Ravi Dharmashi. It is the video by done by CFA Society. I'll post that on VIP access just after this meet. Just go through that video. You'll understand that why power sector, the reforms, the things, whatever the things are going on, why it is a very long play. And power ancillary within the power ancillary, I like transformer the most. But this is such a company, Akanksha Power. This is uh, into the space of electrical equipment such as switchboards, transformers, vacuum contractors, and all. So they produce electrical panels, they produce potential transformers, CT, PT, and RPT, vacuum contractor. So all this. So majority of their revenues comes from electrical panels and all. Uh, but this is such a company which can have be in a limelight from a business perspective going forward. And this is such a stock where HNI investors can get interested into. So you should not miss studying Akanksha Power. This is what I would like to say. Now, from the sectors point of view, what are the sectors which can do well? First sector, the hottest sector, which has suddenly came out of the woods and now has been hot. Now it has turned hot is sugar sector. So sugar, there are various sugar companies. There are various ethanol producing companies, uh, which are which will be coming into momentum zone now. So Balrampur Chini is one such stock from the top pyramid. I like to say which you should study, and from the bottom of pyramid you should study Bajaj Hindustan Sugar. This is from a momentum perspective because there is no margin of safety available at least in Bajaj Hindustan Sugar, but yes, some sort of margin of safety is available in Balrampur Chini, so you should not miss that. So sugar sector can continue to be hot going forward, and especially I posted about it that post-election sugar sector will be in limelight, and exactly it played out. It is playing out well. The next sector is defense sector. So defense, sugar, and auto and power. So these are the sectors to watch. I've been talking about old economy from long time now, and old economy is continuing to do well. We have been talking about that equity is at a risk on stage. Commodities are at a risk off stage. Commodities also into old economy. Sugar is a commodity. Power is a commodity. So these sectors will continue to do well in the whole year. But understand that whenever you are investing, with what factor you are investing, whether you are investing with as a momentum investor, then margin of safety doesn't matter. Whether you are a deep value investor or a value investor, then margin of safety matters. So consider that we are in an expensive zone. Personally, what I've done is I'm holding in my first time in my history. I'm a equity enthusiast and equity investor. But for the first time, I'm holding 25 to 26% in gold and silver. So that is what I have done to safeguard at least if some mishap happens, this gold and silver can help. And especially silver more because silver has the potential to beat the small cap return. So with that perspective, I'm holding that. Otherwise, equities are at a risk on stage, and that is the reason why I'm holding silver and gold. Silver more, some mining companies and all, which is the cheapest sector in the entire world. World mining, gold mining or silver mining. I'm holding some of the bets in Indian markets also, like Deccan Gold Mine. So this is to just to safeguard. from extreme valuation discomfort. So there is a lot of valuation discomfort. But having said that, from a growth investing angle, there will be pockets of opportunities like what I talked about, Supreme Power, which has gone up like 70-80% since I have talked about that in the not 80%. In fact, it has gone up 100% since I discussed that case on VIP access. Now, at the same time, Akanksha Power also, when I posted, it was around 150, 160 crore market cap. Now it has surged. So there will be pockets of opportunities. We have to look at them carefully, having understood that equities are at a risk on stage. One needs to understand when to play momentum, when to play growth, when to play deep value, because you cannot be a you have to be a holistic investor. You cannot be just blind and just be and play only one style of investing. So that is what my reading is about the markets, and that is how I'm playing the markets going forward. So with this, I open up the questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask the questions. I'll be taking 5 questions uh, going forward. Please raise your hand if you have any questions. One more thing which I forgot to mention is turmeric. So turmeric is once again at a good risk reward from a medium term perspective. So one should study that also. It is available in NCDEX. Yes, Vinod, please ask your question. Yes, Vinod. Vinod, I'm not able to hear you.
Can you hear me now? I'm sorry.
Yes, yes, yes,
Hello.
yes.
Sorry. So I was saying that this MSME companies, no, be it Supreme Power or Akansha, what we are discussing, there is always a fear of the lot sizes. Okay, so in the sense, it's almost as good as an F&O lot size into it. So how does one develop a comfort around it? That was the question.
Yeah, so Vinod, what happens is I'll tell you few things because of which this comfort zone will come. So first of all, understand that SME investing is all about liquidity investing. So as the journey goes ahead, the liquidity increases. If you have seen about the Supreme Power, when I bought it first, it was a 2,000 share slot, but later on it become 1,000 share slot. Later on, it will become 500 share slot. So, and at some point of time, once it will get migrated to the main board, the lot size will decrease. But as the lot size get decreased, the liquidity increases. And if there is a liquidity increase, there is will be no margin of safety even from a price point of view. I'm not saying it from a valuation point of view. So for you to develop that high level of comfort zone, one needs to understand that you enter at the exact trend change, because if you enter this at a exact trend change, what happens is your risk is low. So you cannot because usually the SME companies will the valuations will not be cheap either. So if you enter this at a exact inflection points, the risk reward can be well managed. So that is the only way to have that comfort zone. There is no other
And
way because
oh,
yeah.
so हमने तो community में we have done this by doing the in the equity into it. But have you done a session on SMEs in the community? Uh,
Yeah, so what I'll do is I'll plan a session for SME investing. So in fact, we have
okay.
Mr. Vipin
You
Agarwal or we have Mr. Zafar Macha. So I he came to the symposium also. He has like 40,000 or 50,000 followers. So he's a specialist in SME investing. So I have invited him to take a session. So at some point of time, Zafar will be taking a session on this SME. All those things will be cleared.
understood, understood. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Ayush. Please ask your question.
Hi. Actually, I wanted to understand how do you see the data center theme playing out in the next 5 to 7 years?
See, I am yet to start studying the data center, so I won't be able to give the answer. Yes, it is one such sector which I want to keep on my radar because it is a investing mega trend. So I have not yet studied it. I don't know any. You can say I don't know anything about that sector much.
Okay. So, do you have any idea like the power can be a beneficiary of the data center theme,
Yes, yes,
power sector,
surely.
because that is the main thing which will be required when a data center is built.
Yes, 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 yes.
Okay, and for that we are focusing on mainly the transformer related companies.
Uh, there are many other. There might be many other because transformer is one such sector which will be benefited. But I am yet to see study the value chain. Once I study the value chain, I surely know that the power will be a big theme in data centers. But what need to check the entire value chain so to understand this budget better.
Okay, thanks.
Okay, Mr. Vinod Agarwal, please ask your question. Mr. Vinod Agarwal.
Yeah, are you able to hear me now?
Yes, yes.
Okay, so just wanted to know your view on the large cap insurance companies, because what I see in the chart that after a few years of consolidation, now it seems like a started the momentum in that one. So how do you see the life insurance companies?
I need to check. Back, some few days back, I had checked about it. It seemed like that, but I cannot be telling you confidently. Once I check that, I'll be surely posting it on the VIP access. I'll
Okay,
do that.
thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, Suyog. This is Rajesh here. Actually, I want one
Yes,
clear
Rajesh.
clarification regarding the MSP. If MSP is the minimum support price paid to the farmers, if it is increases, it will be a burden on the sugar companies.
No, no, no. This
So
is
kindly
MSP for
clarify.
sugar price. No, this is MSP for sugar prices.
Okay, not for the sugar cane paid
No,
to
no,
farmers.
no.
Okay,
That is I think FRP. The prices which
okay.
farmers get, it is called as FRP.
Thank you.
Next question. Vinod, you can ask your question.
Uh, so there is a question on data center. I am currently working on a consulting with the Analog. They do a lot of data center transactions, and if required, then I can get the head of that business to speak about data centers, who's doing what, so we can have some more clarity. I can
Yeah,
arrange for a
surely it
private
will be.
session.
It surely it will be helpful. So instead of real estate, we should do this data center thing with Anarok.
Ah, I'll get this one. Okay, so I will
Yeah, yeah.
connect offline
Please,
on
please,
this.
please keep it on your list, and after 25th we can have this.
25 के बाद है ना ठीक है मैं बात कर लेता हूँ देवी से देवी is the head of this data center particular in Anarok, and they are going
Hmm.
very aggressive in terms of doing transactions. You know, in Chennai, a couple of transactions happened very recently. तो बात करते हैं उसके बारे में.
ठीक है, okay, okay, Vinod. Thank you. Any new questions? Yes, Naveen. Naveen, please ask your question.
Oops, I was speaking on mute, sorry. So, I mean, what I'm asking was defense and railways. How is it? I mean, how would it be for next 5 years again? I
See,
mean, we
five
have
year is
already
very
seen that.
long. 5 years is very long to tell. Defense sector, the stocks are hyper overvalued. There are very few stocks like Kalyani Investment where there is margin of safety. But from a valuation perspective, they are expensive. They will be expensive. They will continue to be expensive because the that is the hot sector and that is the flavor of the market. This is the bull market leader. So it won't be it will be very hard to say from a 5 year perspective. Yes, at least from next 1 to 2 years perspective, I don't see any issues in transformers or defense or railways. At least for next 1 year, I don't see any issues. Transformers for 1.5 years, defense for next more 1 year. So I have that at least 1 year view as of now.
Okay.
Because the
And overall
problem with
market, how do we
the
see?
so markets, see what if you see what we look at, because we are in a zone where we are in a repeat of 2004 to 2008 bull market. The way the sectors have performed, the power and all those old economy and all. So from that perspective, even from 2006 onward itself, a lot of people were talking about the bust in US economy and all. But
Mm.
ultimately it went on to burst in 2008. It took 2 years. So we are at a risk on stage, but when exactly it will happen, nobody knows. So we have to be cautious, at least from Indian market perspective. And as long as the US interest rates are not reducing, I don't think there is any issue as of now from markets. And there will be a lag. Even if there is a cut in interest rate in US, there will be some lag, and after that we will see the market starts falling, because the moment when the interest rates goes down, they have to take this decision, because something and somewhere there will be some things which are broken. Otherwise, why they will reduce the interest rate? Why they will reduce the interest rate is, there is a problem in the economy. As of now, there is no problem in the economy in US jobs data and all those data are coming very good. Inflation is cooling off, but at some point of time, the growth will start hurting. So when that gets hurted, the interest rates will start reducing. So that is the time to get extremely cautious. At this I've been talking it from past 2 months now. We are at a risk on stage. We have to be cautious, but I'm not in that zone where I say that I will be extremely cautious. As of now, from Indian market perspective, after this, what the elections have happened and the way the allies have supported the government, the policies are continuing. There was a risk. That is the reason why the PSU stock took a lot of beating. But once again, at the end of the week, we got that clarity and the stocks have started surging up. So at least for next 1 year, I don't see any issues as of now. But from time to time, I'll update that whenever if I feel something.
Okay, right. Thank you. And how do you see large versus mid versus small? Where is we should be investing more, maybe in this scenario?
See, all these three are expensive at this moment.
Yeah, yeah,
Large cap is
obviously.
relatively less expensive.
Yeah,
Small cap is expensive. One has to look at pockets of opportunities, because even in this heated market, there are pockets of opportunities. It is pretty hard to tell which cap, because I'm comfortable in large cap. If you ask me from the three caps, but I am
yeah.
comfortable in some of the stocks in small cap wherever there is a margin of safety zone. Like
Okay.
if you study Bajaj
But
Consumer or Shankara Building Products, or
okay.
even Cantabil Retail. So there is margin of safety available there. So there are pockets of opportunities.
But PSU banks are still very cheap, right? I mean, many of the banks are when you compare with the private bank.
Say I don't understand the banking and valuations much. I never
Okay.
played it from an investing perspective. I've been trading in PSU banks with a price-based
Okay.
stop loss, so I won't be able to
No,
talk
but I
much.
mean, what I see is market cap to what profit they are generating. That
Yeah,
itself
but
is,
that
I
is
mean, there's
also PSU is highly cyclical. You cannot value PSU banks The same we do for private banks, because private banks more of a structural story. PSU banks, where it lends to the industries where private bankers don't give the loan. So usually these are the people who go through the all the cyclical upturns and downturns. As of now, the cycle is up. It will continue to be up for next 1.5 year, at least 2 years at least. That is what I think. But I'm not an expert of understanding the valuations of PSU. So, if I want to buy PSU mutual fund, which has a lot of PSU banks, I'll still be do that. But on a stock specific view, it is pretty hard for me to understand that. So that is what I feel.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, that will continue to do well, but PSU banks will continue to do well.
Okay, if we have to invest in mutual funds, right? Nowadays we see manufacturing and then defense.
So that these
Uh,
are all, see, the manufacturing is still okay, but defense
mm,
is purely satellite. So it is a satellite idea. It cannot be a part of core bet. Manufacturing is a very long-term theme. We'll see. So than defense, because
so we can
in
get
defense,
into
what
some
has
such
happened
mutual
is
funds, right?
yes, yes.
Okay, yeah, right. Thank you.
Thank you. Last one question. Last question. So if there are no questions, let us end this session. Thank you everyone for joining in. I think there are no more questions. So thank you everyone. I'm ending this session. The recording of this session will be uploaded on YouTube later. Thank you everyone.